Hello, my name is Chelsea Sawatsky, and today I am very excited to share with you about the Diamond Collective series. And today we are going to be unboxing volumes 5 and 6, the final two books in the series. So yes, the series has been completed and it's just been published. It's available on Amazon and the audio companions on my Patreon. And I'll describe a little bit more about those, but all the links, of course, will be in the description box. And so this whole project, when I was thinking about it, it started about 2.5 years ago when I started to actually meet the galactic light beings and collectives that I channel for these books. And yes, I actually met them and I see them quite often, actually. They visit me and it always feels so good and it always makes me so happy. But I didn't meet them all at once. It was like I would meet one group and then have some time, get to know them, and another one. These are not physical beings. They are all non-physical. So when I say I see them as energies. And they all have different energetic signatures, you could say, which makes them identifiable to me, to know which is which. And some of them I have seen what they look like through my third eye in meditation. I've also heard some of them speak. Also has seen one in the dream state, but yeah, I actually see them with my physical eyes, kind of what I'm getting at, and and in these other ways as well. So they came forth to me. At this point, I had no idea I was gonna be writing a book. I had no idea about the Diamond Collective series. None of these things had even crossed my mind. And at that time, each day I would ask Spirit what would be best for me to do, in the morning, and then after I'd do that, I'd ask again. So I was really starting to rely on my guidance to lead me through the day. Before this, of course, I had worked 9-to-5 jobs, and after I had left my last 9-to-5 job, I was going through this really intensive healing process, healing year, and then I started getting really in tune with my inner guidance, letting me know what to do each day. And so about 2 years ago, I started channeling not just these beings, but other beings as well, who I just felt connected to and who wanted to be channeled. So it's always a co-creation. And whenever I channel, I don't just sit down and channel. I am very intentional about asking Spirit who is best to channel and going about it that way. And I am a conscious channel, so I am conscious while I'm channeling, and I'm basically receiving energy and then I translate that energy. And that's my channeling process. And so about a year ago, I received guidance to start channeling every single day. And at that point, I had this idea to do a podcast format because in the past, when I was working various 9-to-5 jobs, I loved podcasts either on the commute to work or during work. And I thought, oh, I don't know of any channeling podcasts. This would be so cool. So I started doing it as a podcast. And this is quite a process. So every morning I would get up, I'd do my activation and then prepare, and that all took about an hour. And then I would channel the message. Will first be guided who to channel, and then I would tune into them, receive the energy, translate it, which would be the channeling, and I recorded this. And then after that, I would master it with my audio background. So I would master the audio, and then I would upload that to the podcast. And this podcast was subscription only. So it wasn't a free-for-all, it was by subscription, and I was guided to do that as well. So the whole process, it was about a couple hours each day, and I did this for 7 months straight. And at the end, there was a really miraculous story that I share in volume 6 that I knew, and there was many signs that I also share in volume 6, but the project was a complete, the channeling part. And at the end, I was so filled with emotion for these beings and collectives because I had grown so close to them. There's a Pleiadian light being from the 5th dimension, and another Pleiadian light being from the 7th dimension, an Andromedan light being from the 7th dimension, a Pleiadian collective from the 7th dimension, an Urmah collective from the 8th dimension, and a Sirian being from the 12th dimension. So these are my multi-dimensional friends who came forward to co-create this series, and it's really touching to me because this series has really completely changed my life, changed the way I look at the reality, and also it's given me a level of inner peace that I never thought was even possible. And through this process, I've seen my health improve. I've seen abundance manifest all around me. I've seen just everything outside of me shift to basically mirror these internal changes that have been happening. And so yeah, it's been very profound for me, and so I'm just overflowing with gratitude for these beings and collectives that have come forth to work on this project with me. And so yeah, I did the channeling part for the 7 months, and during that I was guided to begin the book series. And then for the last 7 months, I've been completing the book series. And so it's 6 books in total. And because I did that, recording the audio, at the end of those 7 months of the podcast, I was guided to take everything down. And so by and large, there's no human on this planet who has heard or read these messages other than me. There were 6 messages that I was guided to share publicly as samples. So there's one sample from each being and collective that's available on YouTube. The transcriptions are available on my website. So there's that. And if you're curious about checking out some samples. And so with the book series, I'm gonna have to start at the very beginning. So originally, the first book I was guided to put together was Channeling for Ascension 1. And this does include 3 of these galactic beings and collectives. And then Channeling for Ascension 2 has the other 3. And in these 2 books, I describe in great detail how I met them, the energy I feel around them, interesting stories about them, how I perhaps saw them, perceived them. And these 2 books are really the foundation to the Diamond Collective series. So these 2 do set the stage, and so they're definitely worth checking out. I can't even describe how amazing the feeling was when I was putting this first book together. I just knew it would assist so many humans. And then it just continued on with the second. And the second one here, I actually almost feel is the first Diamond Collective, because I was guided to mostly include the galactic beings and collectives, with a few exceptions. And so yeah, that kind of segued into the Diamond Collective series. And so here is the series. So the first four, and of course we're unboxing the 5 and 6 today. But here's the first one, and then the second, third, and fourth. And they all have kind of their own theme. They each contain 27 channeled messages, and they also contain intuitive summaries written by me. And so this adds this whole other dimension to this book series. And I also did this with the Channeling for Ascension, these intuitive summaries. And in them I share countless personal examples and realizations. And what was so amazing is, as I went through this series, like, I would have so many synchronicities in daily life. So many things would happen in daily life that were exactly meant for the books. And I know that these things wouldn't have happened if I didn't take this plunge and write this series. Like, a thing would happen in the day, and then I would go to write that chapter, and that was what the chapter was about. And it was just like the perfect example. And this didn't happen once, it didn't happen twice, it happened time after time after time. And it was really like my higher self was continually setting up these challenges, these tests, and also these beautiful miracles for me to experience and to share. And also, things from the past came up to heal, to integrate. But at this time, I was given the tool in the channeled message to actually heal that and integrate it. Whereas before, I just didn't know, so I didn't have any way to deal with it. So it's been just an incredible process for me. And I know that I was guided to do this at this specific time, because say in 5 years or 10 years, I would just be at a different stage of my spiritual growth, and it wouldn't be the same. What you get when you go through this series is you get a real human going through this stuff. And this is a complete rewiring, a complete purification. This series, the Diamond Collective, it's all about letting go of what is not us. So it's all about, we could say, ascension, enlightenment, which is embodying our true self, which is our higher self, our soul, our divine essence. And as a soul family member shared with me in an analogy that is actually shared in Channeling for Ascension 1, and referred to our divine essence as our diamond. And that is why this is called the Diamond Collective. And the Diamond Collective is humanity, as within every single human is a diamond, is their divine essence, is source energy, a soul, the higher self. And so, how do we get there? Well, this series provides us with a map, a blueprint, and not only through the channeled messages, but through my personal lived experiences. And each message at the end also has an affirmation. And all this stuff I was guided through when I recorded the messages. I recorded over 200 messages in that time, but in the series there's 162. So 27 messages per book. And that was all guided specifically by Spirit to include all the most potent transformational messages, and they all segue together. Like it blows my mind. Like the intro messages to the book, the outro messages to the book. I could have never orchestrated this or choreographed it myself. It is so wild and so profound. So yeah, so these are the first 4, and they do go in order. So if you read them, I would suggest starting with 1 and then moving on. All right, so now is the time to do the unboxing of 5 and 6. I have not seen them. I published them. I created them, but I have not seen the finished product. So here we go. Let's see. 5. Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And then the final one. Oh my gosh. This project, 2.5 years in the making. Wow. This is like electric. Wow, I'm feeling something coming off this final book. So this book came through to me as the Book of Miracles, Volume 6, the final book. Yet when I completed it, I realized that all of the books were books of miracles. They all contained so many miracles. Book number 5, it was a doozy. I gotta say, I unearthed so much deep programming. Like, I was unearthing programming through the whole series, but in 5, it was like, oh, it was a lot. And I went through a lot of experiences, very challenging experiences, to bring this up. So if you consider yourself an empath, or perhaps a people pleaser, or kind of anything along those lines, well, this entire series is going to be very helpful. But number 5, it was just when I started receiving information from Spirit, a lot of times it was different from my programming, obviously. But then when I acted on it and I really did what the guidance was sharing with me, how much better I felt, and so I could tell it was in alignment, and so I just had all these earth-shattering realizations and letting go of stuff, and came into a whole new level of my being through every book. But 4 and 5 specifically were just the heaviest and the most kind of intense. But also, when we go through a great challenge, there is great expansion. So this is where we make the most growth. And then in Volume 6, I thought, oh, got through Volume 5, done it all, completed everything. In Volume 6, I continue to have realizations, and the final chapter, I have one of the most mind-blowing awakenings in the entire series. So just when I thought it was over, I still have this incredible awakening. And such is life, even though this series is done now, I know I'll still be awakening, and I'll still be growing and moving forward. But what this series has given me is what's the most important, is that because of this series, now I feel equipped with literally all the tools, perspectives, processes, practices to get through anything, to get through any programming, to get through any pattern, to get through any situation, to get through any challenge, any test. And so that is what it's all about. It's all about empowering you to trust yourself, to believe in yourself, to back yourself, to know yourself, and to understand the multidimensional reality in which you live. And so how you can navigate it in a way that is in alignment. And in alignment meaning as our higher self. So this is ascension, is we embody more and more of our higher self. Another way of saying it is we let go of what is not us. So we're letting go and coming back, remembering who we are, how to operate, how the reality works. And so the more we continue on this path, the more we understand the reality and the more we create it to our liking. Also, as we move forward on our ascension journey, we're constantly rising in vibration, meaning we are creating our dream life more and more. So it's like we are creating our own heaven on earth through this process. And that is exactly what I have seen in my own life, is that every single day I live more of my heaven on earth. And I realize that because I'm on this path, that's going to continue for the rest of my life. And wow, that's exciting. And this is coming from someone who, there's a long part of my life where I didn't even want to be on this planet. I was very low and I struggled with so much and I had such a difficult time on earth. But now looking back, I can see that I went through all of that to prepare me for what I'm doing now. And so that now I have this appreciation for what I'm doing, for being in alignment, for life, for Mother Earth. And so I see the purpose in everything, and I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't do it any other way. And so this is the series. These are the final 2 books. I can't believe how well they turned out. But yeah, I can, actually, because it's I trusted. And so that's why I felt confident to wait until this video to open them up for you. But now I want to put them all together to show you the total series. So this is it. 6 volumes. The first volume, The Portal. And it's white and purple, the colors of enlightenment, ascension, purification. The next book, number 2, co-creation, understanding oneness, how everything is working together. It's raw, it's grounding, it's red, it's rooting. The reality here is that it's a tough reality on earth. It's really tough. And then we move to 3, alignment, coherence, green, the heart, opening our heart, learning to really live from our heart, what that means, what we have access to. The next one, light blue, 4, stability, security, speaking our truth, being calm, understanding emotions, what they're telling to us, what they mean. Number 5, change, indigo, 3rd eye chakra. This is seeing through the illusions. And through this series, we don't just peek through the illusions. We completely shatter them. Not only that, but we clean up the edges and we transmute that into something beautiful. firm boundaries, being loyal to ourselves, trusting our decisions, trusting our truth, trusting what we receive from within. And number 6, the transformation. And it is purple. Completion. Ascension. Really caterpillar to butterfly, this whole series. And so within it are 162 messages, each one accompanied with an intuitive summary and an affirmation. And you can also listen to the audio companions, which are the original channeled messages. And these you can download in a zip file, and it's all ready for iTunes with album art, all the metadata, and so you can listen to that. And the audio actually has a heart chakra activation at the beginning of each message and a root chakra activation at the end to ground you after receiving the high frequency transmission. But the audio doesn't contain the intuitive summaries. And that is really, wow, it's so much. Like, to me, I really felt, well, it's a co-creation, and the two work so beautifully together. The really, the galactic consciousness coming from higher dimensions, very high frequency, and then the summary, which is the human experience of it, how I actually implement this information in my daily life and how it changes things for me. So how to actually use it and improve your life. And so yeah, and of course these all have an affirmation as well. And these, you can find them on Amazon. You can get the paperbacks like I did, or if you like doing the ebook, that's available too. But yeah, this is the series. This is the Diamond Collective, and you are a diamond. And I would love to see you shine. And truth be told, you are shining. But whenever we have these programs, beliefs, conditioning, how I see it, an analogy I shared actually in one of these books, is that it's like clouds. So our diamond is like a sun within us. And then all these beliefs are like clouds. And the more clouds, the more we cannot see the sun. And the more these clouds that dissipate, the more these beliefs and programming, the more the sun shines through. And so that is what this series is about in a nutshell. It is about shining. It is about living in alignment. It's about living as our higher self on planet Earth in a human body, living heaven on earth, having fun here, having the best life we could, living a fulfilling life, living our mission and our purpose, and also, of course, exploring our hobbies and interests, having experiences we are drawn to, all of that. It's about living your dream life. The Diamond Collective. Thank you so much for checking this out. And again, the links will be in the description box. Sending you much love on your journey today.